What is up, guys? Welcome back to another GeekaWhat video, and today I've got Cooler Master's brand new Q300P case in for review. With a small Micro ATX form factor, unique design with great airflow options and an affordable price tag, is this worth your cash? Let's dive in and take a look. As is to be expected with pretty much all standard M-ATX cases, you get support for ITX or Micro ATX motherboards. You'll want to opt for the latter for the best possible value for money. It is worth noting that this case does only have 4 PCIe slot covers as opposed to the 5 found on some M-ATX chassis, and this will prevent you from using a dual slot graphics card at the very bottom slot. That being said, these are very rare and uncommon, so it is working better in this instance in my opinion and helps to cut down on size. In terms of airflow, you get support for a 120mm fan at the rear, for which an RGB unit comes nicely included, and 2 120mm fans at the top. You also get support for 2 120 or 140mm units at the front, and Cooler Master kindly include 2 RGB fans once again at the front here for really good airflow conditions. It also opens up and paves the way for decent water cooling support. Not custom loops, but all-in-ones could work really well here. In terms of drive mounting, this is perhaps an area that some people will call a weakness in this case, but it doesn't really bother me that much. You get support for 2 SSDs just to the right of the motherboard on the front panel, although clearance may become an issue with a thick radiator installed at the front here. At the rear, you get support for a single 3.5-inch hard drive, or of course another 1 or 2 SSDs if you'd like to go that route. Now, this case isn't aimed at the top end of the market. It isn't aimed at balls to the walls ridiculous builds, although they're certainly possible. And that is really my biggest defense for the lack of loads of drive mounting options. If you want a case with more drive mounting options, get something bigger. Most budget builders aren't exceeding 1 hard drive and 1 SSD, let alone 2 SSDs and a hard drive. The interior design of this case is actually fairly basic. However, the unobtrusiveness in regards to drive cages, for example, helps to keep clearance good for radiators and storage drives and graphics cards, while also keeping the form factor nice and small. The really clever bits of the design come when you look outside the case. The rubber handles and feet work really well and ensure the best possible airflow clearance. They also make this thing great for portability, a really good LAN machine or portable gaming rig. This case actually has a range of orientations. The rear thumb screws are actually coated, surrounded in rubber if you will, meaning you can use these if you like as case feet for a bird's eye view of your system and a horizontal layout. The clever design reflects onto the I/O. Whilst fairly basic, just 2 USB 3 ports, power, reset, hard drive indicator LED and audio jacks, it is actually movable to 6 separate locations around the chassis, meaning depending on your orientation and configuration, you can get an I/O location that suits you best. Whilst it does lack features such as a USB Type-C port or more than 2 USB 3 ports, it does help to keep costs down on what is a very affordable chassis. But I'll put links as always in the description below for Amazon and different retailers all around the world. Another really cool feature on this case has to be the built-in RGB zone where your front I/O would traditionally sit. This gives some ambient lighting and syncs up easily with the fans in the chassis using the pre-included and pre-plugged in RGB splitter. Cooler Master also include an RGB controller if your motherboard doesn't have the required 4-pin header, which is a really nice touch and means you can use this without worry straight out of the box. But that's enough of me talking. What does it actually look like once it's built into? If it's done right and if the RGB strips and cables are hidden with quite a lot of effort, it can look absolutely superb. If you'd like to see a dedicated build video using this case in the future, make sure to smash that like button and drop me a follow on Instagram because I'll post some photos up there before the video goes live on YouTube. The case is definitely a unique one and something that I really haven't seen before. I've been asking manufacturers for so long now, through these videos if you will, for small M-ATX cases. I think that's one of the big trends that we're going to see across this year, is M-ATX cases and ATX cases for that matter that are really small form factor. What's the point using a smaller motherboard if the case is just absolutely colossal? Especially on the budget end of things where people don't tend to be installing dual graphics cards and loads of hard drives and loads of SSDs and 5¼ inch optical drive base, because who uses optical drives anymore? Having a space-saving case can be a really attractive appeal to people out there looking to build, whether that be a budget or even a higher end system. As always though, it isn't all rainbows and unicorns. As much as the build might look fantastic, there are a few things I would have liked to have seen. A built-in powered RGB hub would have been a great feature, even on a case that is this affordable. It means any of the 4-pin RGB accessories you pick up could be plugged into a powered hub to prevent signal having to be split off loads and loads of times, and could even be controlled through the use of the front I/O. USB Type-C, as I mentioned before, would have been appreciated, but you've got to keep costs down somewhere, so I understand the decision to exclude this from this chassis. The acrylic side panel works well, although it is more easily scratchable than tempered glass, and once again it's about finding that balance between affordability and the build quality of this case and the feature set that you come to expect as the consumer. But I think that just about wraps it up for this video. If you'd like to see more from me, do hit that subscribe button and turn on push notifications, because you never know what mood YouTube's in and whether it's going to present you my videos or not. If you enjoyed those, smash that like rating, hit up all the social channels on your screen now, enjoy the glorious end montage, and as always, we'll see you in the next GeekaWhat video. Oh, my leg just clicked.